Alrighty, year sevens, welcome to the channel. This is the first of many videos, hopefully in the PE department. Let's get this show on the road. So I'm just going to be explaining a little bit about your assignment, some key things that you need to have. These three documents that I'm going to go through, they're all on Datemap attached to this lesson. Alright, firstly, the thing that you need to have is your Ask Abbey scenarios. You select one of these three. So you either respond to frustrated Felicity, worried William, or struggling Sam. That's what you're going to do. You pick that scenario. That's the first thing. Okay. The second thing you need to do is fill in part A, which is just kind of unpacking the scenario. So the situation I've chosen, I've made it up because I don't want you guys copying my work, because that is something definitely that Big Justice would do. Maybe even the Rizzler, I reckon he might try and pull that stunt and copy my work. So the scenario I've got is, I'll read it out to you quickly. Dear editor, I'm feeling left out by my best friend. We used to be really close, but now she's hanging out with a new group, and I don't feel like I can fit in with them. Whenever I try to spend time with her, she seems distant or busy. I don't want to seem clingy, but it's hard not to feel hurt. How can I talk to her about this without pushing her away? Thanks, Lonely Luke. All right, so the key issue that the character is facing, they're feeling left out from his friendship group. The key emotions that the character is feeling, sadness, loneliness, nervous, and hurt. Why are they feeling that way? Because his best friend is hanging out with a new friendship group. Explain why this scenario is triggering an emotional response, because they feel hurt by not having their best friend around. This is where you get it, and then this next bit here, these two boxes, are where you get into your planning phase for your response to this person. So, some strategies using I feel statements, and then finding other friendship groups to hang out with. And then we're explaining how these recommendations would help strengthen the character's identity and help the character. So it would share how they feel about the scenario, and it would expand their social circle. The next part is a response. As you can see, not a long letter that you need to write. Right, 200 odd words, easy peasy. So I've got the date up here because that's what the scaffold tells us to do. Put the date and then put the name of the person. So Dear Lonely Luke. Remember that these are anonymous people sending them in, so we use up a made up name to hide their privacy. Another thing that we need to know is when we're writing this, we want to make sure we're focusing on, or we're remembering those three communication styles that we learned about the other day. Passive, assertive, and aggressive. We don't want to be aggressive in this scenario because it's probably not going to help our publishing of the articles if we're just going off on people every time. And lastly, remember that passive kind of lets us not really be sharing anything, but just kind of listening and doing what we're told. We want to be assertive, all right, and we want to make sure that we're respectful and we're acknowledging their feelings. That's what you do in this first paragraph. Okay, so it is completely understandable that these changes in your friendship are causing feelings of loneliness and frustration. You are being encouraged to remember that friendships naturally evolve over time, and sometimes friends develop new interests and connections. Okay, so this yellow bit, that's me identifying the feelings that they're having and validating them. Here is where I'm rationalizing why they feel that way. All right? This does not mean that the bond is lost, but it may require some open communication and patience. That's kind of like me linking in to the strategies that I'm then going to go into. There are many strategies to support this issue, and these include a gentle approach to sharing your feelings with your friendship is recommended, such as using I feel statements to express your thoughts without placing the blame. Saying something like, I feel left out when we don't get as much time together, can help her understand your perspective without creating tension. Alright, so that's one thing done. The next thing, alright, so you should make two suggestions here. In the meantime, it could be beneficial to try and explore new hobbies or joining a club where similar interests are shared. Expanding your social circle may not only support you emotionally, but could relieve some of the pressure you feel around this one friendship. Okay, so this first friendship is around this first strategy, is around how can we help solve the problem with the friend. Then this second solution is how can we help, take our mind off the problem and still maybe feel a bit better about the situation. Lastly, we're just going to look into what are some resources that might support them. So there are many resources that might support you. For more guidance on handling friendship changes, you might find the video, How to Deal with the Changing Friendship, on YouTube helpful. This resource could provide insights and practical tips to help you navigate this time with confidence. Wishing you the best, Ask Abbey. So really quick, really easy letter, not much that you have to do. The last thing you need to do, all right, is a challenge level question. Remember, it's not whatever's easiest or whatever has the least work, it's whatever's challenging. I'm going to call you out if you pick something easy. I'm not going to be happy with you. All right. So basically, you just need to suggest 3 ideas about how you could use some strategies in a school or community. All right. So if there's an issue similar to like this in a school or a larger community, like a sporting club, something like that, what are 3 strategies that they could use to help kind of overcome this? Some things that you need to think about are the different ages, cultures, abilities, and interests. So my 3 suggestions were just around using inclusive language. Lastly, the next one was around a variety of accessible resources. So things like videos, podcasts, text articles, because, everyone learns a little differently. And lastly, it was around doing some group activities with different people to build some empathy, but also develop some social skills. All right, that's all you've got to do. It's really straightforward, really easy. All right, so in Wednesday's lesson, I expect part A and part B to be done. All right, and then in Thursday's lesson, that's where you get part C done. And then once we've done those 2 bits, you submit them to DayMap. And happy days, because that means we get to do prac all next week. All right. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate it. There's a code word so that I know that you've watched this video, and that is subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you do that because I put out some fire videos around this stuff. So make sure you get on it and get around it and get your work done. I'll see you all next week.